Okay, so you want to make a music video. So let's start with part 1, pre-production and production. The first stage I'll cover here is planning. I'd recommend writing up a bunch of different rough ideas for shots and locations. If the song's artist has ideas, try and get them to go through that with you. Maybe storyboard some ideas with them, or look at reference imagery of videos they want you to take inspiration from. The big thing here is picking the locations. Make sure you've been to these places and checked that they're what you're looking for in order not to waste time when actually filming. Okay, we're planned, locations chosen, and ideas set for roughly what we're looking for. Let's go over what we'll need. Camera and speaker. Those are the two key things in here. The camera could be the one on your smartphone or a dedicated camera. The speaker just wants to be battery powered, separate from the camera, and reasonably small. I'll get to why that's important soon. Finally, you want an extra phone to connect to the speaker with, making sure you have the song file on that phone. On the lines of extras, you could have a light. Something more than a phone flashlight can be really helpful if you're filming in the dark or interior spaces, and at times it can be useful to have a friend come along and help you out with holding stuff. Right, we've got everything and we're now at our first location to film. Let's quickly connect to the phone to our speaker, grab our camera, and that's it, you're ready to hit record. Throughout filming, you want to play the song through the speaker so both the artist performing and the camera can hear the music. The key thing here is that the speaker stays with the camera. We really need the camera microphone to pick up the speaker to help us in the edit. Think about interesting angles you can get for the music video. High angles, low angles, wide angles, close angles, the list goes on. Also here, think about the pace and the style of the song you're working with. I'd then grab at least 5 full takes of the song, with the artist singing along, plus some generic shots of the surrounding of where you're filming. Definitely get more if you can. I was looking at around 25 full takes of the song for the latest music video I've worked on, but that's probably excessive. Planning a lot of this in advance can be useful. I like to have a checklist of the shots that I want to get just roughly at each location, so things like that can help you out here. Bear in mind this doesn't need to take you long. The last music video I've made with the mentioned 25 plus takes and many other clips was all filmed in a day. If you want to grab some story elements, film that too, and make sure to grab lots of B-roll. B-roll just means shots not of the main performance, which are A-roll. This B-roll could be anything from shots of the surroundings to your performer sitting on a bench, just stuff that isn't lip-synced to a moment in the song. That's it, you've finished filming. Let's back up the footage and look at part 3, post-production. This part's a bit more technical, so let's dive straight in. The footage has been transferred to your computer and then put the actual song file with it. The editing software I'm going to be using here to show you is DaVinci Resolve, which you can actually download for free onto your computer. Because of the way you've recorded your clips, import your footage, including the song file, into DaVinci Resolve. You can just do that by dragging and dropping the files from your Finder. Right-click in the space in between the thumbnails and choose Create New Multicam Clip using selected bins. Change the angle sync option to sound, telling DaVinci to auto-sync all of your clips by listening to the song being heard in the camera audio. Press create and give it a second. What we get now is this wonderful multicam clip. This should have almost all of your performances ready for editing automatically synced up. You'll see all your synced clips will be also moved to this original clips folder. Let's drag this newly created multicam clip into the empty timeline space in your new project and choose for 2 viewers. On smaller monitors, you may need to hide the inspector panel to see this. If I drag through the clip and this starts to look impressive, if you have more than 25 shots of the song, you can use this here to go to the next screen of camera angles. In my case here, I can see the other 15. You may need to set the left viewer to be on the multicam view to be able to switch between these different screens. Now, whilst you can just go from here, playing it back and selecting the clips on the left, cutting up the music video live, I'd recommend a more systematic approach. Let's delete that from our timeline and back up here. Right-click the multicam in the bin and choose Open in Timeline. This gives us the reality behind the magic, which is probably quite a mess. Here you can see all the clips synced and the angle number the multicam uses as the track name. Now it's reasonably restrictive what you can do here, so let's just select all, Ctrl+A, and copy, Ctrl+C, all these clips into our timeline 1 that was auto-generated when we had a look at the multicam first. After this, paste, Ctrl+V, the clips into this timeline. Find the actual exported song track and solo that track, so you don't hear any camera audio throughout. Now this is quite a mess, so let's start sorting it out. Sticking with the song audio file, bring your playhead to the start of the clip. At this point, then select Ctrl+B to cut down the entire timeline. From here, move your playhead one frame to the left with the left arrow key, and then use the shortcut Ctrl+Alt+Y to select everything left of the playhead before deleting it with backspace. Ensure you haven't missed anything, and then select the blank space to the left of the audio clip and ripple delete with the delete key. This means your timeline now starts at the beginning of the song. Let's do the same with the end, however once we've cut through everything, we can use the Alt+Y shortcut to select everything right of the playhead and just delete it. Now this next step can seem a bit tiring, but trust me, it's worth it. Watch through every take of the song and cut out the unusable bits, adding a marker, shortcut M, on the best bits you see. Now you've done that, select all the takes in the timeline just by dragging over them, and then select D on your keyboard to disable them all. Now go through the timeline, cutting up and using the shortcut D to re-enable clips and piece something together using the markers you placed as references for what you could use where. Generally, I try and have only one clip enabled vertically at a time, as it just keeps things clean. After refining your base edit here a bit, there's a couple extra steps you'll want to complete. The first is adding B-roll. Insert these clips in the tracks above your edit and then cut them together. I often find watching through all my B-roll and assigning a clip color to each to mark whether it's unusable, okay, or really good helps you pick out the best shots. If you have any story elements, this is also the time to add them in now. This isn't a tutorial on color grading, but that is something you might want to bear in mind. One tool I use quite a lot in my videos is Dehancer for film emulation, and I actually have a 10% off discount in the description from a previous video, so you can check that out if you're interested. But apart from that, I'd recommend looking into remote grades if you're looking to color grade each shot. But for something simple, you can just add an adjustment clip from the effects tab and apply an effect like a film look, like I mentioned with Dehancer, or some simple corrections over the entire timeline. You can even try multiple versions like I have here, creating a combination of effects across the adjustment clips. As you can see, this project is reasonably simple, but if I look at a more complex edit like this, you can see the final step here is effects. I'd recommend if you're doing effects on the video, like some of what you can see here, then delete with backspace the disabled clips from your timeline first, as that makes everything a lot easier to look at and start working with. I'm not going to teach you everything about effects like these here, but do let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. I will also leave you with the final thoughts of adding lyrics to the bottom of your video. That's just the same process as using subtitles in DaVinci Resolve, so I'm sure you can find a video on that if you need it. Wow, okay, that's the editing. The music video is done, but now what to do with it? Our final part, part 4, publishing. Of course, your main use case for this video is probably going to be on YouTube as the full video, but that's not the only use case. We can also get short form content, a Spotify canvas, and potentially even a lyric video background for another song on the album or EP. Let's start off with this main purpose of YouTube publishing. Go to YouTube Studio, create, and upload your file. Now here's the key part. Update your title and description as you like, but let's create something custom for the thumbnail. Sometimes a good still from the video will work well. A thumbnail like this is just pulled as a still from the video and works alright. But if you don't have a still like this with the title of the song, maybe adapt the album art, or just find a still you really like and either use it on its own or put some text with the song name on it to draw people's attention further. With music videos, you just want the thumbnail to be immediately eye-catching and simple. There's not much more advice I know how to give here, except go through your video and you can use the export current frame as still feature in DaVinci Resolve to get a still of a frame that you think captures that attention. Fill in the rest of your boxes and that's your music video ready for YouTube. Let's now look at some short form options. For this, take a catchy element of the song with the video export and place it into a new timeline in DaVinci Resolve. Under this timeline, open the timeline settings and disable Use Project Settings. From here, select Use Vertical Resolution and you're ready to go. Now we'll cut the video just to the section we want and then animate the position. What I mean by this is, as you can see, Jude the performer keeps moving out of frame because I'm just looking at the middle section of a landscape video. So to fix this, we can animate the position of the X-axis. Select this button here to create a keyframe and then watch the video through, moving the X position, and it will create a new keyframe for each. If you want to learn the concept of keyframes, you can watch my video on that here. You can also look at experimenting with the mirrors effect to create some eye-catching effects like here, and some other effects like tilt shift blur. This also means if you position your mirrors right, you can zoom out the video clip, removing the need to move the video left and right. I'd also recommend putting your song lyrics over this if you can. I've made a font scramble title effect which could look cool, like used here, so that's free in my description too. Next up we have the Spotify canvas, and then my favourite way to utilise a music video. Now, if you haven't heard of a Spotify canvas and you don't use Spotify, it's this little video like you can see here that pops up instead of album art when you open up a song in the player view. For this Spotify canvas, we just want a slightly under 8-second looping portrait video. Generally, I'd recommend picking a section of the song, one with lots of B-roll is probably best. Do the same thing we've gone over for this short form, but without any lyrics written. We're nearly there. This has been a super long video, at least for me, so thanks for sticking around all this time. Let's look at creating a lyric video background. From this music video I've been using as an example, I've just cut up 20 seconds of cool, generic enough footage. The other element you might want to add to this is some form of effect. Here I've just created an adjustment clip and put some softened light rays on it to create this bleed around the edges of the frame. This can be something subtle, like here, or extreme, like in this lyric video, where the whole thing has a stop motion effect. For this video, I also just put together a cool flashing version, with cutouts that I randomly had the idea for. That's basically it here. Loop this segment over the entire song, and you've now got a basis for a lyric video. Really here, just listen to the song you're making this for and find inspiration through that. One extra thing for these lyric videos that I like to do is pick out an eye-catching shot that we'll only use very rarely. This is because as great as having a looping 15-20 second segment is, it can be nice to break it up. In this example here, I've just used this shot of Jude shouting from the street below. Maybe have this clip appear a few times on the key moments where it feels right, like a beat drop or the end of the chorus. Whoa, we've done it! That's the process of you going from having a song to having a music video to short form content, Spotify canvas, and a basis for a lyric video. If you have any questions from watching this, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll try and help.